The History of COD Part 3. The era is 2003. State of the art R300 video 5900. So COD is born. World War II arc ignites. Fresh of the heels of hits such as Battlefield and Medal of Honor. The setting lends itself well to hiding every texture in a swirly brown mess. Background textures are thin, lighting is fixed. Textures lack granularity as the draw distance gets closer. The number of high-quality models, textures and sounds is impressive for the era, although better optimized than other games. Nonetheless, a whole generation of gamers goes out to upgrade. Shortly thereafter, 2005, Call of Duty 2 is released on a whole new set of hardware. Graphics are amazing. It's easy to see why it's still a fan favorite. Throughout the following years, 2006, 2007, we see the first conclusion of the World War II arc to be picked up again with World at War a few years later. The textures are much better in these later releases, particularly the detail, and in relation to the weapons, they look and feel a lot more authentic. Movement is more subtle, and you begin to see better use of shadows. So inside the buildings it doesn't always look so dark anymore. Outside doesn't look like you're inside a room full of lights. And you start to see the shadows working properly on the foreground equipment like the weapon. And then with modern warfare and World at War, you start to see the use of complex spectral lighting, the use of movement towards motion blur, and you even see that as a setting in some of the later releases. One thing which stands out from the very beginning has been the ADS in COD, aim down sight, and that is always a point of contention if the developer doesn't get it right. Graphics always look amazing when you do aim down sight, and a lot of that has to do with the way that magnification is handled. Then you've got Crazy COD, which is all of the ones that came later on: Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, Star Wars in Space, you name it, before we came back to Earth with the Blops or Black Ops cycle arc. And finally, this month, we get to enjoy Modern Warfare, return to where it all started, almost. With the Crazy War, Infinite Warfare arc, you do see a lot of really nice improvements which culminate back in the World War II title. The use of dynamic lighting effects, the animation, particularly animation of smaller textures, and the use of different shadow effects. You start to see that on characters with Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, particularly character faces coming super lifelike to the point where there's a variety of very distinctive models in the game. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the history of graphics in Call of Duty. It's been a bit of a trip down memory lane. Thanks, champions. See you next time.